Well, hello Robo Lawyer, friends, Angela Learning, Pencil Dog, Robo Muri, all here. Different environment this time. What's that, Robo Lawyer? Oh, you want to talk about the offensive publications. That was the last lecture we had, our media law. We looked at the different sorts of offensive publications, yes. One of the things which has changed is that the idea of what a community finds offensive and indecent varies over time. And at the moment we're using the community standards tests. What's that, Pencil Dog? Why do they want to censor material? Well, I guess the reason for that is because not everyone in the community needs to be exposed to all sorts of material. Like, fairly obviously, there's sort of material which we wouldn't want young people to be exposed to. Yet on the other hand, other people as adults perhaps have a right to be able to look at that material. Yes. Is there some material that, yes, there's some material which we're not supposed to have in Australia at all. It's against the law even to possess it. And that's the child exploitation material, which laws makes very clear that even possession is an offence, let alone the manufacture. And that's designed to protect young people so that they're not caught up in that activity, and generally young people are unable to give effective consent. Right, so that's the obscenity issue. It's changed over time. We use the community standard test nowadays. And what's that, Robo Murine? There's Robo Murine. See Robo Murine there? Can we see them? Yeah. Yes, we've got the classification system so that it's a sort of censorship. And in fact, it's Commonwealth, driven by the Commonwealth government, but the states and territories can add on their own classifications if they wish. And in fact, in Queensland, certain publications cannot be purchased, but they can be in New South Wales. So that's very interesting. And other sorts of offensive material. Just have to look here. Well, they changed the law about sedition, yes, and instead of including it in the Crimes Act, they've since removed it and put it all into the Commonwealth Criminal Code. As I said, at one stage sedition was a very old piece of more of historical interest, and you'll see that in the study guide we talk about it there. But then with the increase in terrorist activity, sedition's become back into the legal arena to a greater degree. And certainly it's been refined and adapted to what's required today. What about blasphemy? Yes. Well, I also, what's up to Angela Learning? Angela Learning's interested in blasphemy. I don't think Angela Learning would be engaged in any blasphemy, but again, yes, it was one which people were thinking perhaps its time had reached its use-by date, but apparently with that opera, Jerry Springer the opera, there were lots of complaints from people about the blasphemous statements in there. Yeah. So maybe blasphemy will continue. Now the interesting thing about blasphemy was it was only directed towards the Christian religion, Christian Jewish religion I guess, and so offending other deities or deities by other names was not considered blasphemous. These days we've got more legislation on the books, the racial vilification legislation, and that's it's still developing. Well, it's the case law about it's developing, yes, so that if people say hateful things, and generally there's a requirement that it's an incitement to violence as well, yes. So so I guess the law is changing. Yes, interesting area, you know. A lot of students write about obscenity as part of the assignment. seems to be an area which is certainly very interesting. And I tell you what, I put a guide up, that classification guide up on the course web page. It's very useful. Has anyone been to see it yet? Any of you looked it up? No? Well, it's very helpful because it gives an idea of what's acceptable today and what isn't. Well, we'll leave it there for today. Okay, well, we'll say goodbye, everyone. Right, I'll fade out and I'll see what I can do. Yes, I'll move around here, see what we can do. Oh, yeah. Look, there they all are, up close and personal. Really close and personal. There you go, Robo Lawyer.